Sunday afternoon. I'm just finishing up because I need to go in and start cooking dinner. It's been a really nice weekend, like just really nice weather. Still a bit chilly, but definitely getting lighter and getting warmer, which is good. So things, I decided to clean up the cylinder barrel that came on the bike. So I've had this sitting in the ultrasonic all day on and off, and given it a really good clean. It's all covered in WD-40 now to stop it rusting. But I decided to, I just bought, just cheap from China, as everything is, new pistons and rings, standard size ones, because in the book it does mention how you can measure the wear using a known good piston. So they were cheap, they're on the way. I should get new ones in the other kit anyway. The other reason I wanted to get them is because I hate fitting piston rings and I hate fitting the little circlips on the end of the gudgeon pins, and I'm liable to lose one or break one or something like that, so I wanted spares. But what I'll do when I get those is actually measure these, and I can't feel anywhere in these. There's no step or anything. You can see where the piston's been running, but it's not too bad. So I do wonder is it worth just giving these a quick hone and get a crosshatch back in them and just fit new pistons and rings and see what happens, like see what the compression is. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work and I would need to fit oversized pistons and get this bored out. But there's not really anything to lose trying that, apart from the time it takes to assemble and disassemble everything. So I may give that a go, we'll see. This stuff's cleaned up. I did discover that the spring I found that I put in the little sort of button that goes on the end of the crankshaft was the wrong one. I actually found the correct one on the floor over here. Turns out this was a completely different random spring that just happens to be more or less the same size and diameter and length as the other spring, but I took it all apart again and fitted the proper spring. Yesterday, the controls are all back together. They're not too bad. I've ordered some 10mm stainless acorn nuts just to finish these off. I've cleaned out the cables. I put those through my rust killing solution overnight and gave them a really good clean out, and I've lubricated all down the insides of them. So this is the speedo cable, the tacho cable, brake, clutch. I think that's it. Fixed all of those. Oh, Milo. He wants to come in. He likes it when I'm making a film, so he's going to come in. Here he comes. He hears me making a film and he needs to come and be involved. So there he is. So all the cables are done. I did fit the tyres, and here's the front tyre. This is good. I did use my plastic things to protect the rim, and that worked pretty well until I got to the rear tyre, and it looks good, but it's actually flat. And it's because I punctured the inner tube. So took it all apart again, and I tried patching the tube. Now I never really have much luck with that, and again this time round I didn't have much luck. And I think the reason is the patch was reasonably good, but to get this bead tyre to fit properly, I ended up having to put about 60 psi into this to get it to really pop onto that bead, and I think that broke the patch on the inner tube. So I have another couple of inner tubes on the way. I did want to order some, there's a plastic spray you can get, a Motul spray, silicone type spray, which is good for plastics apparently. and I've been meaning to get some, but I can't find any locally. There's nowhere I can just go and buy it. I had to order it online, so I thought, since I'm getting the inner tubes, I'll order a can of that as well, getting it all delivered at once, although then they said it's going to be in 2 deliveries. Don't have to pay for 2 deliveries, hopefully, but once that arrives, we will get that on there. I've just realised I might have those tyres the wrong way round. I do. Oh, great. So that means I have to take both of those apart again, because I seem to have put the rear tyre on the front and the front tyre on the rear. That won't have been, that could be why it didn't seat. That's probably why it didn't seat. Oh dear. So all of those have to come apart again. That was a bit dumb. And the reason I did that is because these are directional tyres, and I was making absolutely certain I got them going the right direction. You can see there's a little arrow on them somewhere there. So I made sure they were going the right way and completely didn't make sure they were the right tyre. So I'll deflate this one. Can't get to the little nozzle. Oh well, we'll do that. We'll take the pressure out of them. But, oh well, that's annoying. And you can see all my parts have gone off my little stand. I can probably put that back up where it needs to go and take those off. Those are the mounting plates for the new exhaust. But you can see I've started reassembling things. So the rear swing arms back in place, kickstands in place, rear shocks. This little back section is bolted back on. Some of the rubber bushes are in. The engine mounts are all just loose at the moment. These are back on. Rear brake lever or pedal is back in place. And when I took this apart, there's meant to be a washer there, but that washer was missing. So I made one up. Basically, it can't be too wide because then this won't fit. So maybe that's why it was missing. And I also decided to take the front brake caliper apart. So if we look over here, it's a good thing I did because it was quite rusty. So I've taken it all apart. There's a little spring in there. I've wire brushed the inside of it just with a little brass brush on the Dremel to get rid of any corrosion and muck. You can see where there was corrosion, but it's smooth now, which is good. And these are the pads. This one's not too bad, but this is the moving pad, and that's the wear line where it needs to wear down to, that red line. But if you look at it, it's not worn evenly, which is interesting because this one has. So don't know how that would happen. Something wasn't adjusted properly, I'm guessing. So these are the new pads. I'm just going to put the new ones in. You can sort of see there's like 3mm wear on that one. This one as well. There's quite a bit of wear. So I've got the new ones. I might as well fit them. And this is the compensator adjuster bit, which I don't think you can take apart too far. But that was quite rusty inside. There's this sort of adjuster screw thing. And that was all rusty. So I've got that sitting in its own little jar of rust killer. And I'll leave that overnight. Have a look at it tomorrow. It was pretty grimy. So it's a good thing I took those apart. These are the old pistons, which are sitting in petrol. I'm trying to dissolve the varnish off them, just to see what state they're in. But yeah, really gummed up. So I think that's everything for tonight, but I'm going to deflate those tyres now that I've realised I got them the wrong way around. I may actually, while dinner's cooking, I might take those tyres off, swap them around. What a stupid mistake to make. Really dumb. Anyway, so we're getting there. It's starting to look a bit like a bike again, which is good. Well, some of the washers were missing from here, so I just went through the parts book and put washers where there need to be washers, and that rivet is coming loose, so I need to redo that or glue that down or something. But I think it should all come up quite nicely once it's all done. I think these should all go back together quite well as well, I think. So, stupid mistake fixed. Well, half fixed. I'm still waiting for an inner tube to do the rear one. Let's put that there. But, yeah, that seems to work quite well. I still had to go up to about 60 psi to get it to seat on the bead properly. Once I did, it was fine. It sort of popped into place, but yeah, it was needed quite a bit of stretching. So I did that stage by stage, just gently, and then as soon as it slipped into place, I reduced the pressure down to, I think I've got 25 in there at the moment, and it seems to be holding, which is good. It's wet because I've wiped off the tyre lube stuff. No idea what that stuff is. It's quite amazing. I thought it was just soap, but it's something different, I think, because you sort of wipe it on and most of it just disappears, but it makes it much easier to sort of slip the tyre on. I think in the last couple of days, even though I've got 2 wheels, I think I've fitted about 8 tyres now. We've done it 8 times, so I'm actually getting pretty good at it. So once the inner tube arrives, I'll be able to do the rear. That's why I haven't fitted the sprocket on there yet, but that all looks pretty good. And the other thing I did today that I forgot to mention was the fuel tank. So it's been full of evaporust, and all the bottom half of it's beautifully clean inside now. I've just got it upside down to treat the top, because of course I couldn't do that when I had it, couldn't fill it all the way to the top. So I also bought some more acetone, and I've been mixing up my red coat. You sort of mix it up a day before to let it all fully dissolve, and then I'll pour that in. I'm just going to give it a nice thin coat of that, I think, because there's no rust or anything, so that should work really well. And yeah, gonna finish there now. Time to go in.